The white man God cannot save black people from oppression. You and the man who enslaved you have the same God. Can't free you from the man who enslaved you with his God. And it's still enslaving us with his God. Right now, Christianity is spreading across Africa more than it's spreading across Europe. As a matter of fact, more European countries now that you see is politically and economically up there. It's moving away from that. Yet still Africa is embedded in it to the point now where you have Africans who take up the mantle of what they call televangelism and is robbing and raping the people them with the same thinking where the white man did come to Africa with the same thinking that the white man have in him country. The only difference between we and them right now is that them is using them religion to get rich and we is using our religion for them religion to bow down our knees every day talking about we praying. Marcus Garvey said the black man pray too much, he must get up off his knee.
Black people have prayed so hard for 500 years, 400 years, we have prayed so hard. And when we look at the conditions of black people, it will get worse. Worse. And everybody come and kick black people around the corner. White people come there so boof, kick around there so. Arab come boof, kick around there so. Chinese now come boof and kick around there so. And we still a pray.
Still a pray. It's a serious thing.
Tell me if that make any sense.
I said love viewers and subscribers who are going. Hope all doing good. Hope all doing great. Now my people, they again on the Soul Chat TV with another Mutabaruka content. And this one Mutabaruka is discussing about religion and black people praying too much while missing the real concept and the reality of things. So my people, we're gonna check it out and see what Mutabaruka said. Then we share our thoughts and opinion. And you know, it's a black power movement. So before we go into it, drop a like and subscribe. Share to a friend or a family so they can be a part of the movement. No, my people, let's take a walk.
I want to really tackle a subject here where it's so heart-wrenching that sometimes it breaks your heart considering say you fight for the liberation of African people over the years. We look at Africa and we hear that Africa is the richest continent, but it have the poorest people them. We look at Africa and we hear say Africa was once the cradle of civilization and the glory and the splendor of Africa. Yet in this modern time we still look like we can't get to think together. Why we can't get to think together? Why is so much diverse political, religious arguments about how to liberate Africa? When really the liberation of Africa must be with the people. But when we look at Africa today, when we look upon the leaders of today, we recognize that you can't hardly find a leader if you can't find any that is representing the people, the majority of the people, so to speak. Because most of these leaders was educated in Europe. Most of these leaders have a European outlook. They do have a Pan-African outlook. Their liberation for Africa is embedded in what they learned in Oxford and Harvard and Cambridge and all these things. So you find a whole heap of them, after gaining their education, them go back to Africa and then go into the political system and then become presidents or prime ministers. And they have the same thinking that the slave master have for Africa. How can you free Africa with the slave master ideology, philosophy, religion? How can you say you want to free Africa when most of the things that cause Africa to be in this degradation is the same education you get from the same man who enslaved your ancestors and is still enslaving us? We need some leaders who can lead the people, because we don't want to hear that the people lead and the leaders have to follow, because that sometimes leads to some devastating effect upon the population and upon the country. We need some leaders in Africa that know and understand what it is for Africa to be free, to develop its own potential, to really deal with its resources rather than to have the Chinese, the Americans, the French, the Portuguese, all of the different nations that enslave Africa, to be still in Africa right now, plundering, raping, robbing and stealing. Look how much songs have been sung. Look how much speeches have been made. Even this speech, you know, is one of the speech them. Why is it that we're so reluctant and so thick-headed and so engulfed in white supremacy that we can't recognize that the liberation of Africa is dependent on African people, not on the Chinese, because the Chinese have their own agenda, the French have their own agenda, the British have their own agenda, the Americans have their own agenda. None of them is working in the interests of African people. It is we that must free ourselves. That's why Marcus Garvey said, confidence in self. If you have no confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life. And the race of life right now is to allow African people to design a system and confront the past and deal with the present to go inside of the future. Too long now, African people is depending on them slave masters to free them. Political ideologies that come from Europe cannot free African people. The white man God cannot save black people from oppression. You and the man who enslaved you have the same God. Can't free you from the man who enslaved you with his God. And it's still enslaving us with his God. Right now, Christianity is spreading across Africa more than it's spreading across Europe. As a matter of fact, more European countries now that you see is politically and economically up there. It's moving away from that. Yet still Africa is embedded in it to the point now where you have Africans who take up the mantle of what they call televangelism and is robbing and raping the people them with the same thinking where the white man did come to Africa with the same thinking that the white man have in him country. The only difference between we and them right now is that them is using them religion to get rich and we is using our religion for them religion to bow down our knees every day talking about we praying. Marcus Garvey said the black man pray too much, he must get up off his knee. That is really what is happening. So we recommend that the people them have to decide them destiny right now. We're not looking for next hero, we're not looking for next Marcus Garvey, we're not looking for next Kwame Nkrumah, we're not looking for no other leader right now. We the people must lead. And if the people lead, the leaders must follow. And that is what it is. We are the ones we have been waiting for. We're not waiting on no more hero. We don't want no more Marcus Garvey and Patrice Lumumba and Paul Bogle and all these things. That is not going to help us now. We have to take up the mantle from where those people start and end and continue the journey. And the journey is we are ahead of us. Because every time we go forward, we see we take some steps backward. Look at how we live in. Look at what we're praying to and how we're praying. Can you truly say that what we are doing right now is liberating African people? And I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the collective. Because somehow we get through the crack. For some reason or another, a whole heap will get through the crack. But we're talking about a nation as a national system, a national understanding of self as African people. We as African people must decide, must design, and must maintain our Africanness, no matter what. Because when we take it, white supremacy is what is governing the world right now. And we have to come out of the class of that because logically, we wasn't supposed to be here. After 400 years of destruction from the African race, we wasn't supposed to be here. But guess what? We survived. We survived the Atlantic Ocean. We survived all the slavery, the oppression and all them things. And we're still there. So if we are still here after all of that, things can't get worse. It must get better. And it's up to we to get it better.
The philosophy where them talk about Homer and Aristotle and all these people have, I feel them way for define things logically. And the way them teach we is like if we not use for them logics. And one of the logics where them demand of us to use is them logics of the concept of God. Them have a certain logics about God. Where if you don't give credence to that logics, it sounds like you don't have no sense. It's like when me and the brethren are reason a while ago. Totally outside of the normal religious perspective. A man right away, I said them two people that chat foolishness, if you meet me, say muta talk damn foolishness. Because him no want to hear me talk about say boy, not say nothing about God and times. Them want to come label me now as atheist. And them look weird, you know. So them think, you know, if you're a Christian, you're atheist because your concept of God don't match with how them see God. Most people in Jamaica, perception of God was given to them by them parents and them parents before them, and all of those parents that God, as you hear the white guy say on the tape, is white people concept of God we all are maintained. So we try to develop the European idea of God as we go along, even more than how we develop it. Because meanwhile, white people have shed that. We have put and add more things on it, and feel say, the more we add upon this concept of God with them give away, we think that they go free way. But we still have feel say there's a next life, like the brethren last week we claim say, finite and infinite, and you have infinite body where go to heaven, we're good, and infinite body where evil go to hell. So right away you see there's another creation in the consciousness that is given to us based upon freedom logics. Freedom logics tell you about a heaven in the sky and a hell under the earth. Our logics are tell you say heaven and hell emanate from the human conditions. Heaven and hell emanate from the human condition. It's not a place. It's not a place that you go to. That is only European philosophy that are carried through that. Because there's nobody in history, and if you trace it back even to Kemet, Ethiopia, Nubia, Greece, Rome, there's nobody in history that has ever tried to preserve them soul and can explain to us what that preservation means as it relates to how we understand things. Because we have to let go all intelligence. That human intelligence, you have to shed human intelligence for a belief that no man has ever proven to be real or logical or rational. That is really where we're going. We use irrational thinking and call it logical explanation. And the thing is that now that our explanation is going to look illogical because it is not in line with the European logics. You know, it's like when you're there at school and they tell you about this woman named Miss Malaprop in her book named The Rivals. There's a book named The Rivals, English is a book named The Rivals. There's a woman in the name Miss Malaprop where she turned things into things where it is not. You know, she said things, but what she say is not the thing which I say about is not that she really mean. So them call it malapropism. You know, it's like metaphors using incorrect words in sentences. So when the Europeans come with freedom logics and them implant it in our brains, especially the logics of God and creation and creator and religious beliefs and practices, them logics in our brain, and we start to develop on it, move it away further and further from what we know in our ancestral legacy. And then we can't catch it back. And we can't catch it back because we hold on upon it even more than how Europeans hold on upon it. And when we look on the conditions of black people today, and for 400 years, we look on the conditions of black people, there's nothing out there that we have held on to that has helped us that was given to us by the European invaders. Nothing. Economically, politically, or socially. And we are trying to mimic them. We are trying to mimic for them way. We are trying to understand for them way. Instead of understand our way. That's why the man say, warm to we, warm to self. Warm to understanding of self. What it means to understand self? It means to go back, as we would use this word Sankofa, to understand the legacies, history, culturally, politically, socially, economically, spiritually, and then see how we can craft it into what we know now as 21st century people. And we're not stupid enough to say, well, we used to run up and down and naked, run up and down in Africa naked, so we could run up and down, yes, or naked. No, we don't say that. Because we know that there are certain things in history that cannot work right now in the present. And there are certain things in the present right now that is not working for we as historical people. Good example is the food. When we look at what we're eating now, it's not historical food we are eating. And that is what is poisoning with intention too. Black people, we in a serious mess that need to be addressed. We can't just use what we not put there. I expect say it will work for we. It work for other people, it must work for we. Chinese have a way of doing things. Them cultural perspective work for them for thousands of years. When you look at the Bible, you know, not about China people in the Bible. It makes it sound like China people never exist in them time there. You think so them easy. You think so them people are easy, Rasta. Them write out certain people out of the Bible, you know. And the geographical location make me realize, I know them, let's talk about this, you know. The geographical location, where them put it, them use for themselves in a geographical location where them no respond, where them not supposed to be. It's like Batman in a Gotham City. It's not that you do have a city named Gotham City. It's that you do have a man named Batman. It's a terrible thing, you know. It's a terrible thing. Gotham City exists in real life. But the guy who, the Marvel Comics guy, I don't remember what his name. Him put a man in the city named Batman. So you must know, in your thinking, realize there's somebody in a Gotham City that going to save your name Batman. And them write it that way. It's a similar thing them do with the Bible. Them find geographical location that is real and write themselves in those geographical locations and X out the people them who really come from that geographical location out of the book. Completely. So when you're looking at the book, you now see yourself in those geographical locations, even though you supposed to be there.
Serious.
You see them, the image of them in those geographical locations. And you know, you're about Indian people in the Bible. You know, you're about Chinese people in the Bible. You know, you're about the Mongolians in the Bible. You know, you're about all, you know, you're about black people in the Bible, yes, but black people is like second hand, like carry cross and all them something there. How them get if you do that? How them get if you just continue to do that, so continuously just do that. How them get if you think so over and over and over and now realize we not get nowhere. Look what's going on in Jamaica, you know. It's a system. It's a system that we need for break. It needs to break somewhere. It can't continue so. Centuries and centuries of 500 years it's a go on here, so now.
Still a go on.
500 years. The King James Version of the Bible is 500 years old. The King James Version of the Bible is 500 years old. And that version of the Bible is what has shaped the slaves for hundreds of years here, that people live and die and breed for that Bible. And when you look at the conditions of black people who come here, so, not by free will but by force, we still can't recognize, say, white man God can't save you from white man oppression. White man God cannot save you from white man oppression. And if we continue to maintain that thinking, we could have sing song little more and write poems little more and dress up little more and eat food little more and dance little more. We're going to always be slaves to a thinking and a belief system that confine us to a little spot. And a little spot in our head where we believe that we're free. And we're not free. Because we still try come to grips with what is reality and what is fantasy. And we all are living a fantasy. We are living in this illusion that things will be better if we just pray. Just pray. Have faith. Things will be better. We don't want no money. We just want to pray. Yet still, most of our life is based upon how to get that money. But right behind them said, pray, pray, pray. When you're in a problem, pray. When you want to pass exam, pray. When your man left you, pray. When your woman left you, pray. It's just that it go. You just pray. And your troubles will be away. Because there's something out there, some supernatural being that is listening to you. And each individual that comes to him will be answered. Well, may I tell you, say, black people, if really black people are praying so hard for 500 years, 400 years, we are praying so hard. And when we look at the conditions of black people, it will get worse. Worse. And everybody come and kick black people around the corner. White people come there, so boof, kick you around there, so. Arab come, boof, kick you around there, so. Chinese now come, boof, and kick you around there, so. And we still a pray.
Still a pray. It's a serious thing.
Tell me if that make any sense.
No sense.
Tell me if that is a logical conclusion. That our prayer is being heard. That's why the man say, black people must stop talking about them blessed. Stop talking about your blessed because you live in the worst conditions. You suffer more than everybody else on the planet. And you say you're blessed. Through hurricane come and wipe for Cuban and wipe for the Asian them. You're Jamaican people that are, boy, we're blessed, you know, no hurricane no come and lick way. Sir.
Well, my people, that was something else. Yeah, man, we are still praying. We need to wise up. We need to wake up. These things have never been helpful to us. It just keeps us blind from the reality. While we are stuck reading our Bible, they are taking our lands and they are moving forward while we stuck with this Bible thing. We need to wake up. Need to wake up. We can't sleep so long. Can't sleep so long. But let me know what you think down in the comment section, or we can fix this thing, because we really need to get rid of this shackle off our brain, because we have a shackle up here. So we are not free, we are not independent. Why is that? When we claim that title, let me know what you think. And you know it's a Black Power movement, so definitely drop a like and subscribe. Share to a friend or a family so they can be a part of the movement. Now my people, I will catch you in the next one. Irie.